Welcome to the Real P&L Trading Show, where every week I share my real accounts, each tied to a specific trading system, so you can see exactly how each strategy performs in real time. I also share my safe wheel strategy for free here. Let me get into the comment section and see. Let me know that my tech is working, my audio is good, my video is good. Just let me know, please. I appreciate that in the comments there. Also, be sure to post any questions you might have. I'll answer any and all questions about options trading. I've been trading options for over 30 years. And just let me know if you have any questions. Be sure to post those early rather than later, because sometimes I end the broadcast before all the questions come in. All right, let me just adjust here. Let's talk about the earnings edge. What happened with the earnings edge last week? So I traded AMAT. And what happened was, you can see I've made $1,525 on AMAT this year so far. But last week on AMAT, I traded and broke even. So let me bring that over to the spreadsheet here. It probably cost me a little bit in commissions. Let's see what my account value is. 25,417. So I'll put that in here. 25,417. You can see. So AMAT 25,417. So it cost me, $80 in commission or something. 25,417. You can see here, since I've upgraded to my 3.0, which was in 2025, every trade I've made in 2025 was with 3.0 system. I have 21 wins, 2 losses, and 1 break even. The break even was just this last week. I've had over 87% win rate. My average win is 1,068. My average loss is $874. And you can see how the results are in 2022, where I outperformed. I had 63%. The market was down around 20. In 2023, I did 17%. The market was up 24. And in 2024, I was actually down 36%, and the market was up 23. So when I was down 36%, I thought I need to make a change. I need to make a tweak. And I did right at the end of the year. And you can see so far this year, I'm up 319%. So obviously that tweak or change that I made worked pretty well. I turned $6,053 into over $25,000 this year in 2025. So I'm doing quite well there. So that's the earnings edge. But last week it was a break even. All right, let's get into the PL5 Pro. This is where I have a majority of my liquid network. This isn't my only account, but it is one of my larger accounts. And that particular account number, let's go over here first to activity and positions. Let's go to that particular account number. I think it's this one. Yeah. So it have 440, call it 440, 183, 440, 183, 440, 183. Also, I'm down from last week a little bit. And you can see I started this on July 19th, 2024 is when I started this system. I started with 403,907. I made about $64,000 through the end of 2024, up about 16%. The market was up 6.65. This year, I'm down actually 6%. I had a little rough patch there in April. I tweaked the system, and now I'm doing great, from that time forward. And the market's up actually. Well, what is the market up? I haven't put in the number for the market. What's SPY trading right now? SPY is trading at 681.85. Oh, it's down a little bit from last week, 681.85. So up to about 16.5%. So underperforming a little bit this year, but I don't expect that to continue. I expect that, especially on a risk-adjusted basis, for the PL5 Pro to outperform. Currently, on a risk-adjusted basis, from around 18% versus 24% from July 19th, 2024. Okay, so let's talk about the PL5. This is basically a variant of the PL5 Pro. And I am trading this in my interactive brokers account. Let me bring the P&L over so you can take a look at that. I can't show the whole screen. It'll show my account number. So 35,629. So down just a little bit from last week. 35,629. You can see I started this on July 16th, 2024, and started with $30,000, up 10.2% through the year of 2024, the market was up 3.94 from July 16th. And then so far this year, at 7.75, the market's up 15.46. On a risk-adjusted basis, these are pretty equal. This one's going to draw down. This particular variant will draw down with the market. PL5 Pro variant, the other PL5 Pro is only about half the drawdowns of the market. This one will draw down with the market. So, it's up 18.7. The market's up 21. So just trailing the market just a little bit there. But I anticipate once we have kind of a drawdown, when the market comes down, we're going to have either a grind down market or a crash market. When either of those happen, I expect the PL5 systems to outperform. Now, they will draw down with that first leg down, but after that first leg down, then they'll start to recover much, much faster. Even if the market doesn't recover, the PL5 system will recover. So the market draws down quickly, the PL5 will draw down with it. And then after that, if the market goes sideways, the PL5 will make money. Or if it continues to go down, the PL5 will make money. So it's just that first leg down that we go down with the market. So that's how these systems work. All right, let's talk about the safe wheel. What is my safe wheel account P&L? Safe wheel here. 6065. 6065. So just down, not very much, like $5 from last week. It's pretty much the same. You can see how the safe wheel's done. This one, I've been trading it live on YouTube. Almost every single trade, I'd say 99.9% of the trades I've made live. I do make a $5 call trade on Fridays. It doesn't show up here on YouTube live, but I spend $5 on a hedge. All right, so in 2022, it did 21%. Market was down 19. 2023 did just about 5.3%. The market was up 24, so underperformed there. Then 2024, it actually went negative at 14%, and the market was up 23. So far this year, the safe wheel is up 10.68%. The market's up 16.46. Now, on a risk-adjusted basis, this is outperforming because I get about half the drawdowns of the S&P. So on a risk-adjusted basis, I'm outperforming with the safe wheel in 2025. And you can see overall since 2022 on a risk-adjusted basis, we're about even, 42.6 versus 43.5. So just about even on a risk-adjusted basis overall from the beginning, which was January of 2022 when I started trading this system. Now I'm going to trade the system live because I always trade this. The system's set up to trade once per week. And currently I'm trading Intel, and the first thing I do is look at my hedges and make sure that they are properly in place, because I sell premium and I sell it hedged, and that's what I highly recommend. If you can find a system where you sell premium because there's an edge, but then also hedge that. So we're basically hedging the edge that we have. So first thing is this $33 put. Do I own 200 shares? There's three questions here. Do I own 200 shares? The answer is no. So I do nothing. Am I under 100 days? The answer is no. So I do nothing. And then is this close enough? Is it within 70% my strike price of the price of the underlyings? I don't know without doing a calculation on that. So let's do that. So is 33 within 39.60? Yeah, definitely. So nothing to do here. Don't need to make any changes to my puts. Now I have my long call. I bought that on Friday for 5 cents. Now it's only worth 1 cent. No big deal. I just have this $5 long call. And that long call exists to protect this put, right? Because this put, if Intel goes to 55 or 60 or 100, this put's going to be worthless. So I have this little $5 hedge going on here. Okay, so now that the hedges are in place, I want to run the actual normal wheel. And it looks like I'm long 100 shares, so I'm going to do my best to write a covered call, as long as I don't do it under my basis. And the basis is $36. That's what I got in at. That's where I got assigned. So I don't want to sell a call below $36, because if I do, I could take a loss on the shares, and I'm looking to not do that. Well, with it trading around 39.50, I'm obviously going to be able to sell a covered call above my basis. So I'm going to sell a covered call here. I'm going to do one covered call, and I'm going to do it in the nearest expiration, 4 days out. So I'm going to be over here with the calls, and I want to get at least, say, 40 cents. So I can get 40 cents here at $42. And I like to go right here where I can get 40 cents or more and then go one back. So I'm going to collect around $50 to $55 here. I'm going to sell one of these. The mid price is 53. I'll just go in there, lock that in, probably get filled there at 53. Let's see. No, I might have to get less, maybe 52. Okay, so I filled there at 52. So I collected another $52. ABC, right? Always be collecting. I'm always collecting. The safe wheel is always collecting premium every week, no matter what happens. And we can do that because we're hedged. If we weren't hedged, we'd get caught. We could get caught in Intel. It could, let's say it could go to $30 or $25, and we'd just be stuck there. And we wouldn't be able to collect any premium, and we wouldn't be able to do anything. But because we're running the safe wheel with a hedge, we're always collecting premium every week. All right, let's see if there's any questions or comments. Jeff looks like he has a question about the EE. So I'm in EE, but want to switch over to the live trading. How do I do that? Well, I still have access to my earnings edge tradings and alerts after the switch. Well, interesting that you brought that up. I'm actually going to sunset the live trading with Karl and Avery. Today is going to be the last day of it, so that's not going to be available anymore. So that probably answers your question there, Jeff. So I won't be providing the live trading anymore. So Jeff has, for live trading members, is all the training videos video based, or is there a cheat sheet or anything else? Yeah, no, I'm again sunsetting the live trading with Karl and Avery. Today's going to be the last day. Will, the safe wheel has been pretty good lately. Yeah, it's up 10% this year, so doing pretty well. And I think all that happened within the last couple months too, because I think it was down or break even, so it picked up really recently. By the way, what you might want to know, why am I sunsetting live trading with Karl and Avery? Well, one of the things that we go over is how to trade the PL5 system. And when I do it for members that have not purchased the course, I kind of have to guard everything. And I don't like having to do that. So I want to be able to just talk about anything or any possibility, any scenarios. And so I can freely do that with people that already have the course. So I'm only going to make that available for people that already have the course. So that's why I'm making that change. So hopefully you guys understand that. And Will says, how has live trading with Karl and Avery been going? Well, I just explained pretty much. I mean, it's been going great, but the problem is I don't like gatekeeping when I'm talking about my trades, which I have to do because people haven't bought the course. And so I kind of have to hold back. I don't want to give away stuff because it's not fair that people that purchase the course, right? And so I don't want to gatekeep like that anymore. So I'm going to change up the model. Less is more. Do you know approximately how long your typical wheel an individual stock before you switch to another? Well, one way of looking at it is I've traded DSM. So I've traded 1, 2, 3, 4 stocks this year so far, and we're coming in towards the end of the year. So just the ballpark, 4 stocks a year would be a good estimation, a possible estimation on that. Let's see here. Some guy says, hi, Karl. If you hadn't been assigned on Intel, would you be looking for another stock given it's above 37? Well, yes, given it's above 40, I would be looking for another stock. When it goes above 37, that's not the trigger. That's only like the opening trigger. Like if I'm going to open a new stock, if I'm going to look for a new stock, I want it below 37 because it could possibly go over 40 really quick. And then when it goes over 40 while I'm in it, if I were able to, if I didn't own any shares right now, I would have moved. Well, as soon as I'm out of the cycle, so as soon as my put hedge has been used, like if I didn't own any shares and I had to roll my put hedge, in other words, I had to get a new put hedge, that's when the cycle ends. And I would get a new stock at this point because I'm above $40. Well, no, I'm at 39.18, so I would stay in. So it was above $40 earlier when I came in this morning. Katrosper says, how many trades do you have on any given time in the Safe Wheel portfolio? Well, the most I've ever, most I'll have is, long 200 shares, and I'll be short a call, and I'll have a put hedge and a long call. So that would be about four different positions. Yeah, that would be the most. And the most shares that I've ever will hold is long 200 shares. I won't be long 300 shares with the Safe Wheel. Will says you leave a stock once it doesn't make one of the filters, and you can optionally leave whenever you have to sell out. Yeah, I kind of look at it as when the put hedge needs to be either changed or used, or I need a new put hedge and I'm not long any shares. That's an opportunity to move. So whenever I move the put hedge, that's when the opportunity comes to move. The big question is, where's Mr. Shovel? We missed that guy. I don't know where Mr. Shovel is. I do talk to him every once in a while, through DMs and stuff, but I haven't seen him in here, so he can't claim that he's the first guy in here because he's not even in here. I don't know. I'm going to tell him to come in here. Good question. All right. Any other questions or comments? Hopefully I was clear on everything that I talked about today. And, we're going to sunset the live trading with Karl and Avery today. And so I will still, if you have the course, the PL5 Pro course, I'm still going to be available and I'm still going to be doing live calls. Okay. So with that said, Will says here, question here. You ever think of doing an option strategy with crypto? No. Like the reason I like the S&P 500 is because when I'm long puts, everybody else wants to go buy those puts when the market crashes. So I already have something that I know is going to increase significantly in value. And I just don't know the personality. Let's just say it was Bitcoin. I just don't know the Bitcoin personality and how it works in a crash or other trading type scenarios. So, no, I think crypto, the main pull or the main reason why people like it are directional reasons, right? I mean, I trade stocks and stuff for liquidity reasons and quantitatively more than directional reasons. So I really don't have any reason to trade crypto. I mean, it's probably pretty liquid. I haven't really checked, but it's probably not as liquid as SPX. And obviously, I trade individual, Intel, JD, LI, TSM. I trade individual stocks with the Safe Wheel. And one of the reasons why is because they have earnings. And sometimes I need some type of catalyst to pull or push me out of positions. And I need that earnings. Plus, I like all the premium when earnings are coming in. So crypto doesn't really fit into my trading criteria. Good question, though. Okay. Well, I always like to say in parting, if the P&L is not real, what else are they trying to conceal? I'll be back next week, and I appreciate you guys. I'll see you then.